Certain truths are better left shrouded in quiet layers, concealed from the world. Yet, what unfolds when those buried secrets fight their way free, tearing apart the fabric of everything you cherish? This narrative isn't solely about deceit. It's about the shattering cost of confronting reality. I never meant to unravel the bond we shared. I clung to that thought repeatedly, as though it could undo my choices, as though it could erase the anguish carved into his expression when the truth broke through. I met Evan during a summer internship in Seattle. At 24, I was driven, determined, and uninterested in love. But Evan, he was captivating, a presence that drew me in effortlessly. His steady confidence and crooked smile could soothe any gathering, making everyone feel valued. Initially, we were just co-workers, nothing deeper. Yet, within a month, we were entwined, unable to stay apart. It wasn't a brief, fiery affair. It was solid, profound, and genuine. When summer ended, I abandoned my plans to return to Boston. Evan asked me to stay, and I agreed with a heart full of happiness. 8 months later, we built a home together, creating a life that appeared perfect to those outside. But perfection is a deceptive mirage. 3 years into our relationship, I noticed a change. Evan remained gentle and thoughtful, but something felt off. He was withdrawing, spending late nights at work, his thoughts distant during our conversations, overlooking details I shared. At first, I attributed it to his demanding career. Then I questioned if I was lacking in some way. Eventually, I stopped analyzing and acted on instinct. That's when Marcus entered my life. Marcus was a friend of a friend, introduced at a vibrant birthday celebration. His charisma was striking, unpredictable, a stark contrast to Evan's quiet warmth. Perhaps that's what pulled me toward him. Marcus noticed me, flirted deliberately, and didn't probe when I kept my personal life ambiguous. It started harmlessly, drinks, then late-night texts, until one evening led to a hotel room. I convinced myself it was a one-off mistake, but it wasn't. I met Marcus 3 more times. There was no affection, no meaningful bond, just empty encounters that left me feeling hollow. Each time I returned to Evan, I felt stained, diminished, and overwhelmed by shame. I vowed to stop, persuading myself I already had. Until one night Evan's sharp gaze and a single question stopped me cold. "Is there something you're keeping from me?" His words sent a shiver down my spine. I wasn't sure if he had proof or was just testing me. But I shook my head, spinning another falsehood. He didn't push further, just nodded as if he'd expected my denial. That night, he slept on the couch instead of beside me. The following 2 weeks were thick with unspoken strain. I tried to repair the rift, preparing his favorite meals, proposing a weekend escape, even gifting him a luxurious coffee maker he'd once mentioned in passing. But nothing closed the widening gap. Then one morning, Evan left for work and didn't come back. At 2:04 a.m., a text arrived. "We need to discuss things tomorrow." When he returned the next day, his composure was unsettling, almost detached. He sat across from me, a stranger's space between us, and placed a folder on the table. Inside were damning records, screenshots of my messages, hotel receipts, even a blurry photo of Marcus and me leaving together. He didn't shout or cry. He simply said, "I had a feeling. I hoped I was wrong." I stumbled over my words, trying to justify myself, insisting I didn't love Marcus, that it was a grave mistake, that I despised myself for it. Then, in a moment of unguarded truth, I let slip something I hadn't intended. "I wish you'd never found out." His expression hardened. Not, "I wish I hadn't done it." Not, "I'll do anything to fix this." I'd revealed I wished he remained unaware. In that moment, I knew I'd lost him forever. Evan stood, walked to the door, and said, "That tells me everything." Then he was gone. For a week, there was only silence. Then an email arrived. He was moving out, terminating the lease, and requested space. I fell apart. I erased Marcus from my life, deleting every trace of him. I began therapy, desperate to comprehend my actions. Weeks later, I poured my soul into a letter to Evan, raw, truthful, brimming with regret. I confessed how isolated I'd felt, how I'd chosen the worst path instead of talking to him. I wrote that he deserved far better. He never responded. Months drifted by. I saw photos of Evan online, smiling at work functions, surrounded by friends, moving on. Meanwhile, I was learning to live in a home that no longer felt like a haven. Then a mutual friend shared news. Evan was seeing someone new. Her name was Grace, vibrant, stable, and compassionate. Not a passing fling, but the kind of woman Evan always deserved. I expected to feel resentment, but instead, I felt the weight of what I'd destroyed, a life I could never rebuild. I still relive that night. The folder, his face, the moment my words sealed our end. I wish you'd never found out. I replay the scene in my mind, searching for the right things to say, but life grants no do-overs. I never thought he'd uncover the truth, but I wish he hadn't. Not because I deserved to keep it hidden, but because then I wouldn't have to confront the devastation I caused. Some grieve the act of betrayal, others mourn its fallout. But the deepest pain comes from words we can't take back. Let this tale be a caution. What's concealed in darkness will always find its way to the light.